Alright, YouTube lads. It's time for some content. So I went to Twitter and I asked everybody what were their honest, truest, hard opinions of 2XKO. And I got a couple answers and we're gonna go through them. At the end of the video, I'll give my honest thoughts about 2XKO. You know, there's no script or anything written down. It's just gonna come from this little guy right here, okay? So let's get into it and see what some people are thinking about 2XKO, okay? We're gonna start with the good one. So we have K7 show off, you know about the boy K7, right? Mad sick at this game. His thoughts: insanely good netcode. This is true. I played somebody from Saudi Arabia. I had 100 ping. They had 150. It was crazy. It was unbelievable. This is probably the greatest thing about this game. Bar none is the netcode is absolutely insane. Game is just raw fun. I agree with this. This is one of those games where if you imagine something, it's probably gonna work. One of the only other games that could really encompass that is Ultimate Marvel, at least in my opinion. If you're at work, if you're in the shower, if you're taking a douche, like if you think about something, you're like, man, that might work. It probably will, and that's super dope. Endless creativity with combos and setups. Yeah, again, just like, it's an open world video game, you know? I could play duos forever and ever. Great dynamic to have stuff like that. And then, you know, K7 asks people themselves, what do you think? I wish he would have given some cons here. This is all praise, but there are cons to be had, and I'll share mine later. And then you have some other people, you know, it's my boy Zap. The game feels like Super Mario 64 Ocarina of Time speedrun, the fighting game. Casual audience can pick it up and enjoy it, maybe even learn a cool trick or two, but the iceberg underneath goes insanely deep and will probably have new tech discovered years down the line. This is a funny way to put it, and if you haven't watched a Super Mario 64 Ocarina of Time speedrun, go watch it now to understand what he means. Or, I mean, just in any perspective of, oh hey, this game's fun just to play casually, but then if you really break it down, you unlock such potential that you didn't know was available to the game itself. You know, you have some other people just saying that casually the game's amazing, competitively difficult, and then again, just talking about how the netcode is the best netcode a fighting game will probably ever see. They like the offense, it's freeform. Neutral is sloppy is their biggest gripe. Neutral does feel like a dogfight, I will be honest. And then someone else giving their thoughts. Yasuo is so unbelievably awesome. I co-sign this. I think all the characters in their own right have some really dope stuff. But there's some characters that are more dope than others. They are created more equal, and that's just fighting games. Off-use options is cool as hell, for sure. You gotta express yourself more. You could play the same team as somebody else, but it could be played completely different just through the fact that you play a fuse. Riot client is dumb and nothing makes my face turn redder than restarting my computer because the game had to update. You know, I haven't had any issues, but I have heard the many woes of Vanguard. This is definitely one of the more straightforward opinions. The goddamn game is fun, but it needs more interesting characters and balancing. True, but as the devs stated themselves, this will be the worst state the game will ever be in. Bars. Hold up, I didn't know his writing was this fire. Shout out to Rob TV. And then this is another one just saying how good the netcode is, from Dubai to the Philippines with the VPN, and they played great. And this one's more, oh wait, where is it? I have a harsh one. This one's just some dude hating, but I had to have one of these in there. Alright, so this dude actually gives a pro and a detailed con list, and I picked this one as the last one to go through because I found it the most interesting answer. Duels is amazingly fun, for sure. I agree with that. Combo theory and structure is close to Luminous. Again, said that earlier. Labbing is fun, right? Characters and art direction is peak. The game do look beautiful. Netcode is amazing. I feel like this is something everybody can agree on. Movement feels good for the most part, lacking air movement, but that's okay. Meter gain is absurd, and this is kind of just gonna segue into my thoughts as well, since this is the last answer or response that I picked. Yes, meter gain is insane for this type of game. I will big cam for this to get my point across. You either have to do one of two things. You either have to nerf meter gain from everything, including limit strike, or start the game with half a bar. And you're like, well, now hold on, Cloud. That's a little crazy. You chill, homie. You say that now, but people are already finding. Look at Sonic Fox with Echo and Vi. Round start super tag into you gotta hold like 350-50s because I'm Echo. And then I hit you, and then I go into Limit Strike, and then I pop Echo's level 1, and I get like 4 to 5 more mix-ups and my assist back, and then I loop it all again. Yeah, that game loop is not fun. That sounds like a terrible game loop. And I'm sure they're gonna make adjustments. Remember, this is just the beta. You know, we're testing. We're all being free testers for them right now. Okay, Burst has Oki. Well, I guess starting with one bar is stupid, which again, you know, I just stated in what I said previously. Like, yeah, like it's a little absurd. You know, maybe tone it down a little bit. Burst has Oki. Why? This is one of my grievances with the game. Just to give you an example, I can burst with Yasuo. Send you flying full screen, right, east coast to west coast, okay? And then I can dash up meaty S1 you. And if I'm in Fury, forget about it. You about to get your shit mixed. That's absurd. Burst should be 0 on hit. Both your reward is going back to neutral, not putting me in a 50-50. I've complained about this since day one. And it makes me so sad that it is still running rampant. I don't know anybody who likes this. Combo damage too high. Yeah. But at the same time, the characters that don't do damage do not do damage. Like Vi, for example, as someone who mains her. Her damage is very lackluster to the rest of to a lot of the cast. You know, she's not as... What's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say broken. But her screen presence isn't as dominant as a lot of other characters when these other characters get a bigger reward for hitting you. You know, she's pretty honest. Like Braum, you know, her and Braum are probably the most honest characters in the game. And they don't do enough damage. You have a character, Yasuo shits damage. Echo for some reason does a bunch of damage. So yeah, damage is a little too high on some characters. Tone it down a bit. Figure something out. You know, you gotta figure something out. No option for hard knockdown sucks. No, this is fine. Because honestly, the game is already evolving to the point where people are covering Oki options without needing hard knockdown. It's no longer brain dead. You have to think about what setup you want to do, which is fine because this game is not so much about the Oki, it's about the post block mix up. I make you block, and then the game gives me the tools to put you in a mix up, whether it's through super tag, double assist into a mix up, do some random bullshit into tag, into more random bullshit into tag again. This game gives you a lot of options to mix up your opponent when you make them block. Oh, but push block, then they're on cooldown for like 4 seconds and they gotta play without an assist, and then if you get the hit, you beat their ass, you know. And there's also the moves that beat push block, and push block isn't as strong as it used to be, which I don't know if I like that. You know, push blocking before it sent both characters across the screen, but now it only sends the one that hits you. Maybe it's sending both of you across the screen if you hit at the same time. Fury Burst is straight up a bad made mechanic. Now, this one's interesting because while right now it is too strong, they just have to tweak a couple numbers to make it better. Maybe, what is it, 30% speed and damage boost and a bunch of dash cancels? Tone it down? What is it? I think you get a defense modifier and you get health back? Welcome back, Sparking Burst? Thoughts? Yeah, a lot of it could be toned down. The speed boost, the damage boost. Maybe don't give your dead assist the damage boost as well? Maybe have dash cancel eat up more Fury Burst? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Someone in chat said chip on Fury should be toned down too. If you tone down the overall damage from Fury, that you tone down the chip as well. So if you do one thing, you also do another. See what I'm saying with this? Push block not costing bar and can be tagged from is not fun. I mean, clearly they want the partner to be the push block because they want it to be a dual mechanic. I don't think we're gonna get meterless push block back, except for Juggernaut. Juggernaut is the only fuse in the game that gives you push block because you're by yourself, obviously. So yeah, this one's not gonna change. They might make it where you can't tag, but what I do think that they could do is add more recovery on the push block assist cooldown. It's like 4 seconds right now or something. Maybe make it 6, maybe 7. I feel that that's reasonable. It's your get off me tool, but make it a little bit stronger to compensate for the additional recovery, just a little bit, you know, just a smidge. Double down assist super tag is maybe not balanced. No, it's not, but you can't expect a game to be balanced in its first iteration, especially when it's in a beta. You know, like one of my biggest grievances with this game is, and this is a big one, you know, and I remember telling the devs about this one, and they're like, well, we'll see how it turns out, and then we'll nerf it if we need to. Got a hair in my mouth, sorry. I told the devs years ago, I was like, hey man, why am I punished for using double tag with freestyle with a 6-second cooldown, but double assist and double down face no penalty? They're just 3 seconds. I'm on the side where if you use your fuse's intended mechanic, you should have additional cooldown. And they're like, well, right now freestyle is super strong and broken, and it was at the time. You didn't really have, it was metered push block at the time for starters, right? And then the push block was much stronger when I reiterated to them again. But I think now is the time where we can say, hey, double assist is broken, and double down tag is also broken. You should also be a 6-second cooldown if you use your fuse's intended mechanic. And let me explain to you, you know, why this is also super annoying, right? So maybe I could grab some Sonic Fox footage when I put this to YouTube, or maybe my editor can't. So let me just put this scenario to your head, and there's only 9 characters, so this is gonna happen more, and it's gonna get worse as more characters come into the game, or maybe you could do a Jinx thing. So you throw Time Winder with Echo, right, as your assist. You run behind the Time Winder as the point character, and then you're trying to back up, right? You're like, well, I don't want to fight Time Winder, because like, Time Winder literally controls just half of the screen. And then they fucking throw Time Winder again, and you're like, oh shit, and now they're even closer to you and put you in a free mix-up because assist hold the screen. The screen does not get pulled away from them. So they create, and instead of you going like this across the stage, you go like this, and you're stuck there because Echo's over here holding the screen, their character's over here, and then you're right here. You can't run. You have to engage. You know what Tokon did that made me burst? In that game, when you call an assist, the screen pulls them with the point characters. So if you're running away, the assist gets dragged. The assist, they don't leave the screen. You still get your assist, which is amazing. But the screen's like, okay, we're gonna drag them with you so you can run across the screen. Like, you already have to deal with the projectile assist. We're not gonna have you get locked down with it. So it's still strong, but it's not broken. That still being in the game makes me so sad. They can totally fix it, right? They could do what Tokon does and drag the assist with them, you know? They can do it. I know they can do it. So I think for me, those are my biggest grievances. It's the burst being plus, Fury being strong, the meter, the damage. Other fuses need their timing nerf because 3 seconds for double down and for a double assist is broken. The other assists are fine. Sidekick, Juggernaut. I feel like I'm missing a fuse. Is there a fuse I'm missing? Yeah, Freestyle was the last fuse I was missing. Funny, I play it. But I mean, I don't really have to talk about Freestyle because it has a 6-second cooldown. It has a higher cooldown, which it should, because it's very strong. But right now, all these other fuses are way easier to use with literally no downside. And some of these assists are broken. Are insane. But outside of the cons, right, I talked about all the nice things, the great things about the game, netcode, the creativity, you know, the team comps are gonna be infinite, the duo factor, the game's fun. The game's a lot of fun. You know, the highs outweigh the lows by miles. I'm really excited to see where the devs go with this, because again, this is the beginning. It's a live service game. There's a lot of potential to be had here. I'm really excited for the future, but that's it for me. If I missed something, or if you guys have an issue that I didn't bring up or talk about, or maybe something I don't know about, just let me know in the comments. You know, I want to learn more about this game, and I know all of you do too. But that's it for me. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Thank you everybody who submitted a post on Twitter, and tune into the stream and to the YouTube if you want to watch more sick shit. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.